The problem is called Namche Bazaar. If you didn't know what Namche Bazaar is, it's a town at the base camp of Everest. So what's the story here? In this problem, there are 1,200 beds in the town, and they are always full, right? And each climber who comes to the town stays for 10 days. So for this to sustain, we want to know how many arrivals happen every day, right? It's a very normal little slow problem. The time is easy to see, it's 10 days, right? Rate is what we are interested in, right? It might not be obvious to think the bed numbers as the inventory, but if we know that's how many people, how many climbers are there in the town at any given time, on average the inventory is 1,200. So R is 1,200 divided by 10, which is 120 climbers per day. Right? So let's see how much money they spend per day. Right? There's at any given time there are 1,200 climbers in the town. Out of them, 120 arrived that very day. These are the new arrivals. So the new arrivals spend 120 multiplied by $50. There are 1,080 people who have been there more than a day, and these people spend $30. So altogether, the town receives $38,400 per day. Now let's see what happens if these things were to be the new paradigm, where there are still 1,200 beds, but the climbers stay only for 5 days. Again, the thing that might not be obvious here is the beds are still always full. That just means more people are coming in every day, right? How many more people? Again, the same little slow formula. We need R, your T is 5, I is 1,200. Well, R is 1,200 divided by 5, which is 240. So that is, there are 240 arrivals per day. Now, how much money do they spend on altogether in a day? So there are 240 new arrivals, and these spent $50, plus there are 960 people who have been there for more than a day. In their second day, their third day, their fourth day, and their fifth day, they spend $30 each, and altogether they spend $40,800. So the difference is just difference is 40,800 minus 38,400, which is 2,400. There's a slightly different way to think about this problem, and you should get a same answer. Let me just make a give you a quick hint on that, how this different approach would be. So in this approach, think of this as a old and new. In this old way, what's happening is each customer stays there for 10 days. For the first day he is the new guy, and for the 9 days he's the old guy, right? On the first day he spends $50, right? And for the rest of the 9 days he spends $30 each, right? That is, on total he spends $320. That is, on average he spends 320 divided by 10 equals to $32. In the new, you're there only for 5 days, right? So on the first day you spend $50, and the remaining 4 days you spend $30. That is, in total you spend $170. But you stay there only for 5 days, so that on average you spend $34, right? So an average person in the old paradigm spends on average $32 per day, right? An average person in the new paradigm on average spends $34. So the difference is $2, right? The difference is $2, but there are 1,200 people at any given time, at any given day. So the difference is 2 multiplied by 1,200, that is $2,400 on average. So in the new paradigm, the town makes on average $2,400 more than in the old paradigm. You can use either approach. This approach is probably more closer to in the way we have learned in this class, whereas this newer method is at least clever than the previous one. All right. Hope it answers most of you's confusion on this.